Welcome to my channel. Today, we're uncovering the eerie mystery of Eastern Airlines Flight 401, a tragic crash, followed by ghostly sightings from salvaged aircraft parts. Eastern Airlines Flight 401 was a routine flight that turned into one of the most chilling aviation disasters in history. On the night of December 29, 1972, a Lockheed L-1011 TriStar carrying 176 passengers and crew departed from New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport bound for Miami, Florida. What should have been a standard trip soon spiraled into tragedy when the aircraft crashed into the Florida Everglades, killing 101 people. However, what followed the disaster was even more eerie. Reports of ghost sightings from salvaged aircraft parts, making Flight 401 one of the most infamous cases of supernatural activity in aviation history. The flight was piloted by Captain Robert Bob Loft, an experienced aviator with over 30,000 flight hours, along with First Officer Albert Stockstill and Second Officer Flight Engineer Donald Repo. Everything appeared normal as the aircraft neared Miami International Airport late that night. However, as they began their approach, the landing gear indicator light failed to illuminate, making it unclear whether the nose gear was properly locked. Concerned about a possible malfunction, the crew decided to enter a holding pattern at 2,000 feet while troubleshooting the issue. Captain Loft instructed First Officer Stockstill to engage the autopilot while they tried to resolve the problem. The pilots and flight engineer focused on the small green light that was supposed to confirm the landing gear was down, unaware of what was happening outside the cockpit. Unbeknownst to the crew, the autopilot had been accidentally disengaged, causing the aircraft to enter a slow descent. With their attention fixated on the landing gear issue, none of them noticed the gradual drop in altitude. The vast darkness of the Everglades below provided no visual reference, making it difficult to perceive that the plane was losing altitude. At 11:42 p.m., Flight 401 crashed into the swamplands at a speed of 227 miles per hour. The impact tore the aircraft apart, scattering wreckage over a wide area. The swampy terrain cushioned some of the blow, allowing 75 people to survive, but many others perished in the wreckage. Captain Loft and First Officer Stockstill died on impact, while Flight Engineer Repo initially survived but succumbed to his injuries later. Rescue efforts were challenging due to the remote crash site. Survivors were forced to endure the cold, dark waters of the Everglades, surrounded by alligators and snakes. Rescue teams, including the Coast Guard and airboats from local authorities, struggled to navigate the treacherous landscape, but eventually managed to airlift survivors to safety. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, launched an investigation, ultimately concluding that the crash was caused by human error. The crew had become so preoccupied with the landing gear light that they failed to monitor their altitude. The autopilot had been unknowingly disengaged, and by the time they realized their mistake, it was too late to recover. The tragedy led to significant changes in cockpit procedures, including the introduction of Crew Resource Management, CRM, which emphasized teamwork and situational awareness to prevent similar disasters. However, Flight 401's story did not end there. In the months and years following the crash, Eastern Airlines employees and passengers began reporting eerie encounters, ghostly apparitions of Captain Loft and Flight Engineer Repo appearing on other Eastern aircraft. What made these sightings even more unsettling was the fact that some components from the crashed aircraft had been salvaged and installed into other planes in the Eastern Fleet. Witnesses reported seeing the spirits of Loft and Repo in the cockpits, galleys, and passenger cabins of aircraft that contained parts from Flight 401. Flight attendants, pilots, and maintenance crew described chilling experiences. Some claimed to have seen Captain Loft sitting among passengers, only to vanish when approached. Others reported encountering Flight Engineer Repo performing pre-flight checks even though he had died in the crash. One well-documented case involved a flight attendant who saw Repo's reflection in an oven door, warning her about a potential mechanical issue. Later, genuine malfunction was discovered in that same oven. These ghostly encounters became so frequent that Eastern Airlines executives ordered employees to stop discussing the sightings, fearing bad publicity. However, the reports persisted, and some crew members even refused to work on planes containing salvaged parts. As the paranormal stories gained traction, Eastern Airlines eventually removed all parts from Flight 401's wreckage, hoping to end the ghostly encounters. Whether the sightings were the result of trauma, superstition, or something truly unexplained remains a mystery. Flight 401's crash led to vital safety reforms and a chilling supernatural legend. Though Eastern Airlines shut down in 1991, the ghostly tale still intrigues and unsettles. Thanks for watching.